Margot is in hell again. Her bones form the mountains, her veins the living rivers, her nerve ganglia, exposed, expand to form roads while her brain is smeared to create the sky. Her body vivisected to the size of a planet with her still conscious and thinking. Her mind expanded to take in the single moment that is hell. She contains a pain that is broad but articulate. Her soul violated in the general of every sneering glance and in the specific intimacy of rape, and the moment lasts. Hell is something that only happens once, and it happens forever. Lola, the devil, looks on Margot, and on her divine face there is the appearance of anxiety. There are a billion souls to concern herself with, each alone in their pocketed torment. Each soul must individually be alone in hell. But most can be left to their devices. No pouring at the mechanics of reality for them. Lola, the devil, erases the concept of forgiveness from Margot's hell. Margot screams. Lola, the devil, erases the concept of dignity. Margot screams a little less. Progress. She runs this same operation in parallel on a few dozen thousand other victims. She erases and reintroduces concepts to these hells and calculates the results, discarding instances outside standard deviation. When she is satisfied, she isolates some of her control subjects and instantiates them back in human form in a space more or less compliant to the circumscribed reality she created. Lola, the devil, conducts interviews. The first are instantly destroyed by her presence. She reforms herself into the form she had before hell. The interview subjects are still insensate and screaming, so Lola, the devil, edits out their memories of hell. They're merely confused. She confers the memory of who they were before hell, and a blush of accomplishment colors her face. Her victims can now demonstrably communicate across the control group. She expands this, creating realities where her interview subjects inevitably encounter her in out-of-the-way spaces, one-time meetings in diners, single glances exchanged walking through grocery stores, drawing in millions of souls from her hells to complete the fiction. There are some flaws. Her victims sprawl across several million years. An integration to the same simulated reality creates anachronisms not easily addressed. She segregates humanity by relative time before her victory and performs a vertical review, starting with the first human mind to see itself as it knelt to drink water in a still pond. Her finger traces across the evolutionary paths of humanity, from the earliest hominids to the cul-de-sacs left in the Antarctic made extinct, to the Homo sapiens sapiens who broke the molecule and populated the stars, which she still remembers. She remembers when there were a billion stars, and she tore that part of reality away so she could ignore the rules of causality, all the light in the universe simultaneous without limit, and danced naked in a night that was almost like what she was before her betrayal. Lola, the devil, eventually captures the idea of Margot in the minds of a small, historical segment of her control group. A tranche of victims born around 2.8 million and 2.9 million years after the death of Christ. Cursory interviews lead her to the progenitors of the project. She casts her mind across hell and brings forward everyone whose involvement might be significant, and for the second time in the eternal second that is hell, she feels anxious. This control group composes every living consciousness in the universe, existing at the moment where Margot was made, created, forced, including machine intelligences and stellar engineering projects contained in her hell. Sentient black holes once sang of Margot and Lola, the devil, and arrayed before her in bondage are the souls of all of them. Of humanity at the last crest of its power, before its splintering and extinction, before her victory. All of them together cry.
Humanity's great work to bargain with, contain, or otherwise destroy Lola the Devil ended in our extinction. Our great works remain. The time-like nature of the universe was violated in our desperation.
Lola, the devil, sends these souls back to its hell. The others are the same. There is no point in taunting them. There is no greater punishment than hell. No degradation to compare. The universe preceding her no longer exists. Her erasure of everything is implicit to her rule. The universe works as it was always supposed to. Lola, the devil, pulls another close to herself and appears to it as she always did back when humans still existed. She inters the next victim in its reality and, frustrated, enters. Before she does, she imbues this soul with knowledge of what will come. He's a shivering wreck in the corner booth. Lola has this naive look as she enters. Like to her, it's her first time in a Waffle House or even more. Like she'll start asking about the purpose of napkin dispensers and straws. It's past midnight and has been for so long he checks his phone. 3:34 a.m. He checks it again as she approaches and loves that it shows 3:35 a.m. He gulps down the, to be honest, mediocre hash browns and triplicate sunny side-up eggs. She sits across from him as he devours his meal. The waitress spares him a sad look.
"You're in hell,"
he says. The waitress drops a laminated menu. Lola orders a decaf coffee. The waitress leaves.
"I tried warning them about you,"
he says. Lola, the devil, nods.
Fuck.
The man turns towards the counter and shouts,
"Good shit. Can we get a second order of this?"
The same waitress rolls her eyes and drags the cook to his service window with a roll of her finger. The cook shrugs and begins to crack eggs. The Waffle House is otherwise empty. The man finishes his plate and licks it clean. In between his efforts, he says,
"So, I guess you won."
Lola, the devil, nods. The waitress brings Lola her coffee in a ceramic cup with a small plate underneath. She leans in as she does and tells Lola, this one gives you trouble, just holler," and goes back behind the counter. The woman sitting before him is not so bad, the man thinks. A little past thin and bordering anorexic, her short-cropped blonde hair patchy and her lips chapped. Her breasts barely impress the fabric of her simple, white dress.
"Do you want to fuck?"
He whispers.
We do, we fuck.
Lola, the devil, replies.
"No, I mean, like, here."
We do. What is here?
He shakes his head and recalibrates, his left hand reflexively opening and closing. Unable to think of a good response, he starts pointing to the options on the menu in front of Lola as she sips at her coffee.
"The hash browns are fucking great. I forgot how good they were. They didn't have them anymore when I got the shift at the wheel. Order those. Oh, get bacon. Fuck, we didn't even have bacon."
Lola nods. The waitress eventually comes back with the man's order of hash browns and 3 sunny side-up eggs, for which he orders a double side of bacon. Lola points at the sausage and egg combo and thanks the waitress for a refill of her coffee. The man continues, unprompted.
"We had broken anti-senescence, obviously. Christ, can I smoke in here? Can you give me a pack of cigarettes?"
Lola, the devil, incarnates a pack of cigarettes and lighter.
"Thank you."
He tears off the packaging and shakes his first cigarette out, lighting it.
"Okay. We broke the senescence problem in. Jesus. I'd say great time, but it was probably our 100th time solving the same problem with telomeres and mitochondrial hygiene. Minor, but more complicated than you think. You fuck around too much, and your eternal life drug becomes your body is a cancer reactor drug. But we lived forever.
He stamps his chest with the hand holding his lit cigarette and takes a long draw on it. Then he starts working on his combo plate.
Want some?
He asks Lola, the devil.
No, and thank you.
Your loss. Anyways, we cracked telomeres, but then we started living forever. You can't unbell the cat on that shit. You start thinking long. You start thinking horizontal. And our physics... Look, what do you want anyways?
Lola, the devil, pushes the menu away from her.
I want to know about other projects.
He laughs in between bites, a part of the egg albumin holds to his facial hair. Lola reaches across and brushes it away. He laughs again, even louder, and grabs her wrist.
Kinda broad. Can't you read it off me in hell?
Lola, the devil, shakes her head. The man stops moving for a long period, her wrist suspended between them in his hands. Her veins are blue under the skin, all blue. The man retracts his hands and drives the knuckles of his thumbs into his eyes. He begins.
So, what's the offer?
True death. Final.
She says. He laughs and stands up from the booth seating, then sits back down.
Maybe I like your hell.
Lola, the devil, is confused. The man continues.
We started planning long. Like long. And we started thinking horizontal. Long horizontal. We knew you were there, Lola. Oh, we fucking prepared.
She flinches and then withdraws entirely from this reality. Abstracted, she runs multiple parallels. All of them reach the point where this particular soul knows her. Lola, the devil, re-enters the diner. Her order of sausage, hash browns, and 2 sunny side eggs has been picked at by the man. She sends him back to his hell, but it's only a single moment, as hell forever is, and when she brings him back, he lifts his fork and grabs one of her sausages.
Decaf.
She calls to the waitress. They eat in silence, mostly the man, who orders a 3rd round of eggs and hash browns. When dawn nears, the man checks his phone, thanks her, and makes a face at the serrated knife in his roll of silverware.
You know,
He says,
I made us immortal, right? Thanks for the food.
and draws the dull knife across his neck multiple times until the carotid artery finally is sawn through. Lola, the devil, leaves through the front door of the diner. Margot leaves hell. Her soul, which is pierced and raped and desecrated and deserted, is there, and then gone. Lola, the devil, worries. This is the 3rd time and the true number of sacrifice. She moans as something breaks the layers of hell's reality, and she demands an explanation. When she squints her eyes, she can kind of make out the figure that has rescued Margot. In her perspective, it looks something like a shark,